Good evening, everyone. Namo Buddhaya. Welcome to our class tonight. My name is Tina, and I'm delighted to welcome you all to our Mindfulness through Buddhism class tonight. It's wonderful to see you all. Thank you for joining, and thank you for taking the time to attend. This session will be led by our most venerable Bhante Amita Khema. Bhante will lead us through the great teachings of the Buddha and some meditation tonight. We are grateful that Bhante is able to walk us through the Buddha's timeless teaching. Thank you, Bhante, for taking the time. Before we begin, I ask everyone to turn on their camera, as this allows for more interactive real-life session and more connection with each other. However, we do respect your choice if you choose not to turn your camera on. Please stay muted and use the raise hand feature if you have questions or comments. Bhante will invite you to speak when it's time. Please ask one question at a time that is related to this topic. Please do not be shy. This session is help us to develop our Dhamma knowledge and meditation practices. If you do have more than one question, if you can keep it towards the end of the session, as Bhante will ask again if you have any more questions, if there's time. If you wish to share merits with any of your family members, friends, or departed relatives, please send their names directly to Bhante Khema in the chat, and he will make sure that he announces that. Okay. Now, as Bhante walks us through this session, you may hear words like sadhu, sadhu. This means excellent, and some Pali words, which is the Buddha's language. If you're new, please do not worry, as you will learn more as you develop your mindfulness and attend more of these classes. Before Bhante begins, please try to stay present, sit comfortably, and think of one part of the session, if not the whole teachings, that you would like to put into your practice in your daily life. Tonight, our friend Andre, hi Andre, he will walk us through or give us a quick recap of the last session, and then Bhante will begin the teachings for tonight. Thank you. Andre?
Namo Buddhaya. So last week we continued exploration of dependent origination, focusing on how to practically let go defilements. A Bhante teaching came from, or based was on a Kaya Sutta that we explored, where Buddha explains that not all unwholesome states can be abandoned in the same way. Some must be abandoned through body, some through speech, and some through wisdom or through insight. So in my notes, I outlined, so there are three ways defilements are abandoned. One is abandoned through body actions. This would be example of like a killing, stealing, or sexual misconduct. And it's just based on changing our behavior. Usually like either friends or teacher would tell us that something is not appropriate and it can be done changing our behavior. Another way is abandoned through verbal actions. And this is like arising through speech, like lying, harsh speech, gossips, and again, so this is the way how we speak. And I think in many occasions in teaching, so Bhante mentioned that you probably want to pause before you start speaking or actually reacting on something. So that helps to keep right speech. And the third one, probably the most difficult one, is abandoned through wisdom, when it can be greed, it can be hatred. I actually have some Pali words, but I don't want to butcher them, so I just will use more familiar. It's angry, and stinginess, different kind of things that arise inside of our mind. And those are probably very difficult and not always can be clearly seen or easy to observe. And that's why in Buddha's teaching, it's recommended to see it with wisdom. And what it means with the wisdom is that recognize that defilement is happening, observing why it is happening, what the cause of it, and understand that it's impermanent, so it will be gone soon, hopefully, and understanding that can understanding the suffering that can create, and I guess vipassana is one of way to address this defilement, this problems. And Bante last week, several occasions, he mentioned that if, for example, if we like angry, so whenever you get mad or angry, you think if a person who understands anger doesn't have anger, then right now I don't understand anger. So that means so you observe and probably wiser person how it reacts on kind of situation and try to develop this quality in ourselves. And I think it's kind of related to another sutta that we studied like several months ago. This is Maha Satipatthana Sutta, when like refrain is actually suggesting that internal and external contemplation, when you observe your body and mind internally and externally. Internally means yourself, and externally means probably other people or wiser people, how they react on this. And that's like, it's interesting connection between a different Buddha teaching. And we also discuss evil desire, evil jealousy, that is also discussed with the Buddha. What it means, it's when people wish that some people are not prosper, not good, and some people, so it's not desirable action, and also evil desire, that it means that people are trying to pretend that they are not. So if they're faithful, but they're not very faithful, if they're knowledgeable, but they're not very knowledgeable. So those are different situation we discuss. And eventually we also discuss that how practically to avoid those defilement is, and as my understanding is that you need to recognize it, like sitting quietly and understand, yes, I have an anger, I have envy, and observe it with a mindfulness. Be quiet and understand that this happens, but you try to calm it down. And as we practice it more often, so I guess we develop wisdom, and all those defilements are eventually will be less frequent. So this is what I got on my notes from last week.
Thank you, Andre. That was really nice recap. Thank you very much for doing that. I know one of the takeaway for me last week was even though we can restrain bodily and verbal misconduct, Bante said we need to learn, like the mental defilements require a deeper approach and seeing them repeatedly through the lens of wisdom. So thank you very much. Now I'm going to pass it over to Bante to lead us into the teachings.
Yeah, thank you, Andre, and thank you, Tina. So yeah, it was wonderful, and so we need to appreciate. Andre had covered so many things we discussed, and yes, let's dive into today's sutta. So before we dive into sutta, is there any questions you have to ask from our previous class or last class? Yes, Linda, please go ahead.
Yes, Bante, Namaste, Bante. Just a quick question, Bante. Explain about sorry, I have to use the Pali word. The first one is upanaho, and the other one is palaso. So upanaho, does it mean the Bante says is very angry. Like in my language, we have a word that means that the anger comes to a point that it's deep down in your heart, like your whole life you just want to take revenge of these people, this person. Is that what it means for upanaho? And then what is the difference with the contempt, the palaso, Bante? Can Bante please advise?
Yeah,
Meaning.
the Kodano and Upanaho, so that the Palas. So Palaso means I have to go through to get the exact meaning in English. So the Upanaho means, Linda, it's like that the anger, definitely the hatred. You know that uh, uh, that when you do when your mind, you know that some people when they're angry, so their whole life dive into that kind of a situation, like I don't mind whether I live or not. My life purpose, my life goal is, my life achievement is taking the revenge of this person. So that it's not just anger, but it's like upgraded just his whole focus to take the revenge. If you can remember how Devadatta was super angry towards Buddha in that Serivana Jataka story. So likewise, it like it's not just a small amount of anger, it's like a deep within you. So your goal also to take revenge and continuing your hatred. And the palasum is like this, you know, that doing something as a retaliate, you know, that if you do something, then this is my reaction. Okay, you did this, okay, this is, okay, see how I, something like that. Okay, Stacy.
Thank you.
Hi there. Good evening. How are you?
Good, thank you.
Good. I wanted to bring up one point about anger since we're on the topic, and then we can move forward. I think I mentioned I had a person I was close with who was angry, and we started talking again, and I realized this person is holding so much anger, not towards me, but they have stuff going on at home. And whenever I talk now, he gets angry or yells or thinks I'm saying something wrong. And I was wondering if there's any wisdom I could give him, because I care about this person, but I don't want them to be full of anger. I know I can only control myself, but how do you help others when they're always angry?
Yeah, the thing is, we need to learn one thing, Stacy. If someone's angry with you, it's like they are putting kind of a iron shield in their ears when they see you. That means
Yeah.
they are not ready to listen to you. So if
Mm.
someone is not ready to listen to you, so then if you try to teach them, that it's like it hurts them and they are not ready to listen even for the right thing. You know that there are some things that if you say, that they will reject and they will never do that. If someone else, they trust at the moments when they say that, they accept that. So likewise, so if someone angry, so that the best thing what we can do is, we should give them some space, and if they are ready to listen, there are some people when they bring that our idea is pretty much strong, saying that here's the thing, this is what going on, you have to understand, they will understand, but most of the time it's not like that. So in your case, try check within yourself, ask your questions back from you, whether that person is ready to listen to you. If no, keep a distance at the moment. In future, yes, of course he may. And if he is ready to listen, then uh, uh, first thing is, you should share your sincere apology, even though you have not done something wrong. It's like this. So there's a nice quote Buddha saying in Sakka Sanyutta, that if both parties angry, if someone step down, the rest of the world may feel like he's a loser, but he's the one giving peace for the both parties.
Good point. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, because I think that small, if someone couldn't, if anyone is not ready to step back and reflect and accept what's going on rather than just reacting and fighting back, we don't know where it ends. So that's how the history already have told these stories like so many times.
Thank
Right.
you.
Yeah. Okay, while saying so, welcome new participants, and if you are coming for the first time, uh, just saying hello. Sorry, we can't say hello personally. We are running out of time, and but you all most welcome to our Dhamma class. So now we are diving to the most deep teachings of the Buddha that depend on origination. I don't want to bring you just in middle of nowhere and put it to not to understand anything. So that's why we are going class by class. Okay, so in here uh, now we learn that if you can remember, we learned that what are the so what is the difference when it comes to the Buddhist teaching. So if you can remember in the Cūḷaassapura Sutta, some wise group of people, they came to see the Buddha and said, while he's traveling in their town, okay, Buddha, everyone comes here say that what I am saying is the truth and the rest of the things are wrong. Then when after some time another group of people come and they say that what we are saying is the truth and the others are wrong. So now we are like confused what to believe and what not to believe. So then Buddha said, yes, you have question where you should question. And Buddha said that you do not want to believe because it comes from your ancestry, not because of it's in a book, or not because everyone believing it there, and not because like it's kind of a seems like truth and it's like scientific, or that it's not the measurement to see it. So Buddha is saying even this monk is a popular monk, that's why we need to believe, not in like that. So Buddha giving a way to see whether it's good or bad, which is see it within yourself. When I practice this, it help me, others and everyone, or not. And like then Buddha directly saying what are the defilements, like when greediness arises, whether it good or bad, then since it's bad, let it go. When anger rises, whether it's good or bad, so therefore let it go. The delusion, misunderstandings arises, whether it's good or bad, so let it go. So likewise, understanding and letting it go. So those are the three things, and in the same time cultivate the opposite of the greediness, opposite of the anger, which means loving kindness, and the wisdom, opposite of the delusion. So we learn that part, and then in the second class, that means last Wednesday, we learned that a technique to let it go. If it is anger, if anger rises in you, and if anger overwhelms, remember, feeling anger is a pretty normal thing. We are working on holding anger. If anger rises and overwhelms, at that time, there's a nice thought pattern. If anyone knows about anger, knows means that he understands it fully. He does not have anger. So since I do not understand about anger very well, so that's anger rises in me. So no, we are not judging the other person. We are not fighting with the other person. We address the real question which arises in here. Okay, anger rises and anger is overwhelmed because I don't know about anger. If I know it, it shouldn't be there. So that's what we learn. So that's the main takeaway. Like even defilements arises, we have to understand that we are not so great. We are still struggling with defilement. So we are not giving marks. We are not giving kind of a value to that sort of a thought patterns in which arising in our head, mind. Right. That's what we learned. Now let's see the benefits. So you know that the monks So Buddha's Savaka Sangha, it says that when you pay respect, you say, Supatipanno Bhagavato Savaka Sangho. Buddha's followers, Buddha's disciples, following a path which gets Supatipanna. Patipanna means started to practice, like, that following a path. Supatipanna means, so means kind of a, upgrading that what they are, the idea of that practicing a noble path. That's why we can say the Supatipanna. So define that what is that noble path. Noble path is letting go greediness, letting go anger, letting go delusion. Cultivating that, and letting go of the opposite of greediness, opposite of anger, and opposite of delusion. So that's what the path. So now, today we are learning a sutta, Assapura Sutta. So I will give a brief teaching and then we all can dive into sutta. So in brief, Buddha saying that, Buddha saying a nice thing. Is nothing that now monks are sitting in front of Buddha and Buddha is delivering a speech. So Buddha saying, dear monks, and uh, um, monks replying, Bhante, or Venerable Sir. And then Buddha says, dear monks, people also identify you as monks. You also claim that you are monks. So then you should definitely have the qualities of monks. That's what Buddha is saying. So what are the qualities of letting go these defilements and cultivating good qualities? Then Buddha dropped down all the different the monks' life back then. So Buddha is saying, if there's a monk, if there are some monks back then, other than Buddhist monks, they claim to be a monk and they are practicing being naked, no cloth at all. And sometimes to us it may feel like disgusting. If you have gone through, because India is a kind of a like a spiritual and religious kind of a, I don't know how to say that, it's like a sanctuary, like so many different sectors are there. So like it's like, if like philosophy is kind of a part of that Indian culture. So therefore even still today some groups of religious practitioners, their monk's life is being naked. And you know that when they go, people wash their legs and taking umbrella as respect and paying so much of respect. Don't think that they are like uncivilized. No, they are civilized. So that the people who are paying respect to those monks, they are like doctors, engineers, like well-educated people, but it's, as their culture, as their religion, they pay respect. Buddha is saying, just being a naked person cannot be a monk. So there are like different people. Sometimes people practice different hard, difficult routines in their life. So like, that some eat even a little bit, and some, instead of clothes, they wear like and the woods as a cloth. Some wear that what we call that feathers of sometimes peacock. It's a beautiful, but it's so itchy. And so likewise, different traditions, they claim to be a monk. So Buddha saying, having different clothes does not make you a monk. If you have these defilements, then he's saying that if you are a monk, you should let go the defilements, like what we discuss in the Kaya Sutta, and sometimes ago we learned about in Vattupan Sutta. If you have these defilements, you are not a monk. And Buddha saying, if someone is a monk, and even though you are having different lifestyles, and even though you say a monk, if you have these defilements in you, actually, it's like this. Buddha saying, there was a knife back then, in the usual knife, maybe like a Rambo knife, two sides, both sides are sharpened. That means this side and this side. And Buddha say, it's like someone take a robe or cloth and covering a knife. So if you are having these defilements, think that if you are having anger, this sort of hatred and jealousy, that false pride and those sort of defilements, you are like a knife with both sharp edges in both sides and covered with a rope, covered from a rope, nothing different. So that's what Buddha say. And see, remember, Buddha is a person who does not have any weapon, but his teachings are like so powerful. I still can't believe how he survived in a society like that, saying these things, saying that thing, even though you are wearing different robes and traditions, and if you are claimed to be a monk, so you are like a person, like you are like a knife covered with a rope. So that's true. But you know that when someone says something like that, what will be the reaction of the people who really has anger in them? I still can't believe how he survived in that the Brahmin tradition. So that tradition is so powerful and community. So if someone manipulate the society, that society can be so dangerous, but he did it somehow. So that's the power of a Buddha. And actually, maybe because of these teachings, so you know that Buddha, when he is about to like that, like 3 months before his death, he announced that within 3 months I'm going to die. And then Buddha started to go from one village to another village. The, uh, most of the teachings were about mindfulness. And so when he is passing by a village, the village name is not coming to my mind at the moment. If you know, put it to chat. That the group, the villagers got to know that Buddha is coming, and when he come, all the young adults are following his path and going to be monks, and we do not want to let it happen in this town, this village. So what they did, they um, uh, made an announcement. Okay, collect all the water you need for maybe week, and cover all the public wells with some you know that uh, uh, that after we harvest rice, that remaining that plants, I mean, no, the remaining plants, there's a name for that. It's not come to my mind. Like, so put all those things to the well, and no one can take water from it. So then that was the plan, and they executed, and monks came with the Buddha, hay, or hay, all the wells covered with hay, and no one can come up. So unfortunately, and since there is no water, there are like 500,000 monks coming with Buddha, and some monks are fainted. So one young lady, she was super upset about that. She offered water from her house after after monks passed that village. Villagers in the meeting, they decided to kill this young lady by stoning. That means taking stones and throwing at her. So now we know it's, so that means that also was in even India, not even the other parts of the countries. So that's that sort of a community was there, but Buddha shared his message profoundly and clearly. he delivered the truth. So Buddha says that if anyone has these defilements, even so he's claimed to be a monk, actually he's not a monk, he's like a knife covered with a rope. Then Buddha saying then, if someone think that being a monk is like genuinely erase defilements, so if that is the path, just being a monk or wearing a robe or following sort of a ritual or tradition, just because of that, if someone be a monk, so if that is the path to purification, it's so simple. Whenever new baby born, you just need to take a robe and cover that baby. Then the baby will be defiled when less than no defile with no defilements. So that's simple. Since it's not happening, so it's not the path. That's what Buddha is saying. That's what Buddha is saying. So if whenever baby born, the Buddha is saying the different tradition, do whatever that offering like cover that robe, so it's not happening. Then Buddha is saying, okay, being a monk, you need to let go defilements. And Buddha is saying, when you let go defilement, what happens in your mind? So Buddha says, once you let go defilements, when you think of the Buddha or the teachings of him, and when you think of disciples, that because you're contemplating qualities of the Buddha, piti arise in you. Piti means the rapture, that blissfulness. It arises in you, and it turns to passaddhi, tranquility. That means that body and mind is like so light and like subtle, amazing feeling. And then that passaddhi turned into a sukha, or the happiness. That happiness which you feel within. That happiness turned into a concentration, or the samadhi. Piti, passaddhi, sukha, samadhi. And that with that concentration, spreading loving kindness boundlessly to whole world. Spreading compassion boundlessly to whole world. Spreading appreciative joy to whole world. Spreading equanimity boundlessly to whole world. So that's how you can purify your mind. So in brief, if you really want to have a monk's mind, no matter the cloth what you are wearing, but what most matter is whether you hold defilements or whether you let go defilements. And these teachings are, I think, essential and to learn both lay people and monks. So I think that if I get angry and if I hold anything, then for some reason I'm saying, okay, I want to take someone to example, okay, I'll take Dilip. Think that I'm saying, I'm angry with Dilip, I will never ever talk with Dilip. And I don't want to see him even. If I say, since you know this teaching, Bhante, you can be a monk if you hold anger. If not, everyone will say, yes, Dilip somehow hurt Bhante's feelings, so therefore we all should be angry with Dilip. He was misunderstanding, since you don't know what is right. So the right thing is letting go the defilements. So remember, Buddha asked us, if someone put you down and cut you into 2 pieces, at that time, even if you get angry, you are not following my path. What's the path? Having so much of happiness, spreading loving kindness, compassion, and having that sort of a mind. To have that, you need to have a concentration. To have a concentration, you should have that happiness within yourself, not the body pain. The rest of the people, when they focus to their body, they feel a pain body, but meditator feel happiness within. To feel happiness, they need to have tranquility within themselves, and that subtleness in their body and the mind. To feel that subtleness, they need to have the rapture in their body. That means that spreading the amazing feeling of that happiness and blissfulness. To have that, they need to have that defilements free mind. How do we know that defilement free mind? Whenever you think about the Buddha's mind, when you think about the teachings of the Buddha, when you think about the Arahants, those great Arahants, you feel so much of happiness, these qualities arising in you. So that's the path. How it happens when you let go the defilements. How it happens when you let go the defilements. That's where you understand Buddha as Buddha. That's where you understand teachings as real teachings. So that's where you understand the Arahants or the monks as as monks, I mean true monks. So until then, we just try to understand. So as an example, so if someone comes and think that someone comes and take a Buddha statue and smashing it on the ground. So that's not matter. It's not the something matters. What matters, what it creates in your mind. If your mind hold anger, so then Buddha will say, you are not sorry. You also not following my path. The other person, of course, he openly saying he's not following, but you are pretending following, but you are still not. That's what the Buddha says. If Buddha is alive. So that's what I said, that there was a kind of incident likewise, and like a group of people, like one ignorant child burned a book, and because of that there was a religious kind of a conflict in a country, and it was like it should not have had happened, but it burnt village and so on, so things. So at that time, a journalist asked this question in Australia from a monk. So what do you do if someone put your holy book into the common and flush? His immediate reply was, "Oh, probably I should so I may call to a plumber, because book can't go through the toilet pipe." So that's the truth. So that made him that helped him to dive into the teachings of what Buddha says. So now seeing Buddha means how we see the Buddha. Buddha says, there's a nice quote which comes in Buddha's teaching. Yo dhammam passati so mam passati. It says like this. There was a monk whose name was Vakali. Very good monk, and so he had so much of confidence towards Buddha, but he always wanted to see Buddha, because he feels that inner peace and happiness whenever he sees the Buddha. So he was super happy to see Buddha, and his daily practice was to, whenever he get a chance, to go and see the Buddha. So he's so much of fond to Buddha, and seeing Buddha he feels so much of inner peace. He was super sick and he couldn't even come out of his bed even. So when he's super ill, monks told about this to Buddha, and Buddha came to see Vakali and asked, how are you feeling and are you happy? So then he's saying, these illness are getting worse, but it's not the problem. I'm so frustrated, I couldn't see Buddha and I'm so worried about that. Then Buddha saying, Kinte Vakali mina putikayana ditte. Vakali, why? What's the reason? What's the purpose of seeing this disgusting body? Remember, Buddha had more kind of a so beautiful body, and his color, his skin color is like gold. So he had so beautiful body, but he's saying What is the use of, what is the purpose of seeing this disgusting body? If you see the teachings, what I say or teach, you will see me. How you see when you see the teachings of the Buddha? Same like today. So, so if you try to see the Buddha through statues, you will be confused in no time. Why? If you come to our monastery, there's a statue, and if you go to another Korean temple, there's a statue. It's like totally different. And if you go to somewhere else, there will be another type of Buddha statue. We are like we don't know what is the real appearance of Buddha. But if someone tries something like this, he see anger rises, and he do not give food to anger, and he let go anger. And once he let go anger, he feels that super happiness building within him. And then he see from that purified mind, he see Buddha through that mind. Wow, Buddha had a mind with no anger throughout his life. How amazing he is. Then he see the Buddha within himself. He is not the Buddha, but he see the Buddha's mind within himself. And then, wow, this amazing teaching. These teachings let go anger. Wow, such amazing teaching. Wow, these monks are doing the exact thing we should do in our life, because having double PhD does not allow help and give us peaceful mind if we are angry. But if someone follow this path while doing the rest of the things, maybe having this sort of a peaceful mind, how amazing those monks. Whenever you think about the Buddha, that's the meditation on Buddha. When you're thinking about his teaching, that's the meditation on Dhamma. When you think of monks, that's a meditation on monks. So it gives so much of happiness. Why that happiness creates? Because you feel no defilementless mind at the moment. So if you don't feel so, give it a try. Like it takes some time. Okay, I will remember this. Okay, this is kind of a main takeaways, what I'm saying, to practice. Next time when you get angry, do not upset about that, because you do not want to regret, because anger always create regret and frustration. You do not want to intentionally upset about that. That will do by anger. Instead of that, be happy to see the anger. What? Yes. Prepare yourself to see the anger instead of being so negative about anger. Okay, let me check when will anger rises. Why? We know something to do. Why we feel upset about anger? Because we don't know what to do. I mean, even though we know what to do, it didn't work in that way, because when anger rised, after the anger, it was like kind of a painful situation and regret we experience. So now I'm telling a way to not to feel regret when you get angry, but these sort of a happiness in your mind. So therefore, now your most important thing is you need anger. So be prepared to feel anger, because without feeling anger, how can you do this? Okay. Now think that you are prepared to see anger. When you prepare yourself to see anger, anger usually don't come. Anger is kind of a cunning defilement. So because when you prepare yourself, you have mindfulness. When you have mindfulness, there is no room to anger to come. But still, after some time, anger will come. When anger rises, what you need to do is feel the anger, understand anger, give a kind of have a preset before anger rises. When anger rises, I never ever do anything out of anger. Why we feel regret after the anger? All the things we did with anger is not good. And I mean, even though we think we are doing the right thing at the moment, once anger fade away, we feel like, why did I smash the door? Why did I skip the lunch? And why did I skip the dinner and went to sleep? And I made feel bad my mom. So likewise. So when your anger rises, what you need to do, have a like a preset in yourself. Out of anger, I do not do anything. And in the same time, you do not want to be super nice with anger. Why I'm saying that? When your anger rises, okay, you may feel like, okay, I'm not going to do something bad. Okay, I will smile and show my acceptance to the other person. But the thing is, your mind is still with anger. When you smile, it's like this. You're just showing your teeth. The other person understand this. Just he may think it's like just pretending or joking. So even you want to smile. Your mind is not ready to smile. It's just showing your teeth. And sometimes you want to say a nice thing to the other person, even though you start to say it nice, it will end up saying even at least one annoying thing. That's how it works. So when you get angry, have a pause. I won't do anything out of anger. So then time pass. Do loving kindness meditation if it works, or busy with other stuff. Don't try to check whether I still have anger towards this person. Why I'm saying that? If you do not have anger, you don't want to check even. Because you want to check, that means your mind still contain anger. So when you're being busy with other stuff, you are that the heaviness and pain in your heart, after some time, it will fade away, because body has that because of hormone reactions. That reaction may contain sometimes per day also, but since you are not feeding it, after some time it just vanish. Then you will feel that so much of happiness. You will gain confidence. What sort of a confidence? You have your own confidence. It's 100% okay to feel anger. I have control over my anger. When you have that confidence, you feel super happy about yourself. Don't stop giving false credit to yourself, and give that credit to the Buddha. When you feel like feeling that letting go, when you let go anger, wow, Buddha had a mind which never ever had anger at all throughout his life. Wow, such an amazing mind. When you think that, you are connecting that quality to the Buddha, means that the mind who it has no defilement. Then it is another meditation. So when you connect, that's your experience to Buddha. Whenever you see Buddha statue, you feel that the statue eventually gives you that Buddha Anusati, that contemplation of Buddha meditation. It just gives you. That's what you feel when you come to monastery. You suddenly feel that even though you don't meditate, when you put to that gravel road, the couple of bumps when you go, you feel like the serenity, while others get mad because this road is not paved. Because that feeling arises. When that feeling arises, it stays. So instead of putting it to a monastery, put it to the Buddha. Then when you see a Buddha statue and when you think of Buddha, it will boast. It's okay to have to monastery, because monastery is where Buddha statue and monks live, and people who practice meditation. And turn it to the teachings of the Buddha. Think, wow, such amazing teaching. Then whenever you reflect the qualities of the Dhamma teachings, you feel that happiness. And turn it to the Arahants, not to Sangha, just monks. arahant who has fully eradicated all the defilements. Then it's another meditation. You create freedom in your mind, and then you connect it to the Buddha, his teachings, and to the enlightened ones. Then you have that, you have the most valuable thing you may need in your life. It's like a treasure. It's like the hidden happy pills you need. Whenever you need happiness, you can just think of Buddha. Think that you are having a sign of a uncomfortable day. You can just think, wow, Buddha never had this sort of defilement in his life. He let go all those. Such an amazing mind. It will turn your unpleasantness to pleasantness. Thinking also about the teaching, thinking about the enlightened monks, it will gives you that happiness. When you offer dana, lunch or breakfast or even a monetary fund, you will feel, even you're volunteering, you will feel super happy when you connect your connection to this. Even you offer even 1 tablespoon of rice, that will create that amazing happiness. That happiness can't buy. Even someone of a container of like the huge container of food, because it creates in your mind, because you practice it in that way. You have your own experience on that. So what we need to do, prepare yourself to see a defilement and have a preset not to do anything with that defilement, and prepare yourself to be busy with other stuff and practicing other meditation and let it go. Once you let go, you feel hard to describe, but you will feel amazing happiness in you, and it will gain confidence that you do not want to worry about anger anymore in future, because you have control over that. You have authority over any sort of a defilement you practiced, and then connect it to the Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. And then you have, because then your preeti or the rapture rises, tranquility arises, happiness arises. It will turn to concentration. With that concentration, spread love and kindness to the whole world boundlessly. Then you don't need a lot of words. Just a one word can gives you that concentration, that happiness. Compassion, spread compassion. Once you feel like, okay, loving kindness something easy, then start with compassion, sharing kindness, and practice appreciative joy, which means that are not the opposite of the jealousy. So when you practice that, so you can be happy when you gain something. You can be happy when your neighbors gain something. You can be happy your co-workers gain something. So there's no competition in your mind, because nothing to win after competition. What they receive create happiness in you. They may not, may don't feel happiness, but you feel happiness, even though they receive something. And practice that equanimity. Then your life will be totally different, what you have practiced throughout your life. And so as Buddha said that if someone wearing covering a rope from a knife, that if a monk, if he's not practicing defilement, he's not practicing this teaching, he's like a knife covered with rope. Think that you are covered with the suits and the lay person's costumes, but if you practice this, you are like a gem covered with lay clothes. That's it. So give it a try. Practice.
Thank you again. So when you mention that when you get angry, to recognize it, which is normal, you get angry before letting it go, and then you say, don't act on it. Think before you act. Let's
Right.
say you're not fortunate enough and you get angry and you act on it. You say something mean, you throw something, which I usually don't do, but sometimes it does happen to me. What's a good way to let it go after you've acted on it? Like not
Yeah.
like, you know.
Yes. We all know that we are not perfect, and so once we did that, that regret, that opposite of that slight happiness, the regret comes. We all know that what the feeling of regret, like frustration, why did I do that? So understand that this happened because of anger. I couldn't make it. I'm not perfect. Think that the thought pattern which we learned last week. If someone know about anger fully, he does not have anger. So I don't know about anger as that person knows. Then you are practicing the. If this is if what we learned today is the secondary level, let's practice the elementary level again, and then practice secondary level.
So just be kind to yourself, forgive yourself.
Yeah, just I mean the right way to forgive is like without giving credit even to that. If someone knows about ego, anger well, he does not have anger. I don't know about the person. I still don't know about anger as that person knows.
Mm.
So then it create kind of ego to get to know about anger very very well.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right. So it's a good teaching, right? See, it's how nice. So these teachings, today we learned the Asapura Sutta. I will put into the chat now. And here's the thing. The benefit of learning through a class is you can learn it in order. Unfortunately, the teachings in the scripts are not in a order like this. It has a order like a library order, like categorized in based on the teachings of that court. So there was a tradition. If there's in the mind that Kuddaka, that means that the minor discourse, maybe I don't know how to translate it. In there's a part called Nittipakarana. I don't know whether it translated to English. There were some techniques to practice teachings. So like comparing teachings from one teaching to the other teaching and categorizing it where it should be categorized. So it's like the shall we say the key. So since we don't like having a that being a lay person it's not that easy to read those 18,000 suttas. I mean you can read, but it will be just a knowledge. That knowledge also essential to have a kind of a common idea. So but coming to a class which do like with kind of a proper guidance, I believe that's a very good way to learn teaching. So then you are so clear about teachings, and when you have a clear understanding, you can teach it others to properly.
Hi, Bhante. In the sutta, I was reading it before class. There's a Pali word, samana.
In which part can you say? Samana means
Yes,
the monk.
a monk. Okay,
Okay.
that was my question.
Okay. So sometimes there's a different translations has different meaning. You know that to the bhikkhu sometimes that it says as mendicants. Mendicants is a one way of saying that someone, so that the monk is the meaning. So because since monks are relying on someone else, the things someone else offer, so that's why it says mendicants, but it's not the only meaning. That's also something you need to know. Let's say sadhu 3 times. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Today we learned Cūḷaassapura Sutta, the small discourse Buddha gave in the Asapura town, and we accumulated many merits, good karma to our life. Let's share it with all the divinely powers and with our past relatives and with our teacher, Pinnat Lokus Swamin Wahanse, and all the monastic monks who live all around the world. And let's share these merits with our wonderful volunteers. and all the participants who came today to learn and practice teachings of the Buddha. May you all be well, may you all be happy, may your all good wishes come true, and may you all able to understand the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. I'm going to chant the blessings in Buddha's language. Abhivadana silesa niccang vada pacayino chattaro dhamma vatanti ayuvanno sukhang balang ayurarogya sampatti sagga sampatti mevacha ato nibbana sampatti minate samicchatu. May you all have a long life, happy life, and healthy life. Namo Buddhaya.
Okasa Vandami Bante.
Sakihatu.
Maya Katam Punyam Samina Anumodi Tabam.
Sadhu sadhu namo buddhaya.
Samina Katam Punyam Mayham Databam.
Sadhu sadhu namo buddhaya.
Sadhu Sadhu Anumodami. Okasa Davartena Katam Sabam Achayam Kathamami Bante.
Kamami kamatabang.
Okasa Kamami Bante. Dutiyampi Okasa Kamami Bante. Tatiyampi Okasa Kamami Bante.
Sakihatu nibbana pacha.